Crohn's disease gets diagnosed when doctors find inflammation in the last part of the small intestine, the ileum or the ileocecal valve. And I think they just do that because it's the easiest place to see in the small intestine. First, they'll do a colonoscopy to look around and see if you have colitis. If they're lucky, they can work it all the way up into the small intestine and get it to about here. But for a lot of people, they can't do that. Next, they'll do an X-ray or an MRI of the small intestine and see if they can see anything wrong. Crohn's disease, I know this word means inflammation anywhere from out the butthole, but it doesn't really get used. It's such a confusing, stupid term. Dr. Burrell Crohn, the guy who discovered Crohn's disease, he just wanted to call it regional ileitis. He was studying people who just had inflammation in their small intestine. And he knew the term Crohn's disease was just going to cause mass confusion. If somebody has mouth ulcers and then they have inflammation here and there and in their small intestine and they have perianal fistulas and stuff like that, people will say they have Crohn's disease, but like they're all separate conditions on separate tissues controlled from different parts of the brain. It's totally idiotic to lump them all together. It doesn't serve anybody. Crohn's disease is caused by a conflict shock. What was something I needed to digest, but I couldn't? And I'm angry, frustrated, and annoyed. And it has to be a boom, shocking moment. Maybe you're a kid and mom rips the Coke out of your hands or rips the ice cream out of your hand, or something like that, and then you get thrown into timeout. Maybe you lost your job and you can't hold on to money anymore. Maybe you broke up with your girlfriend and you can't absorb your girlfriend anymore. I've seen people talk about the opposite sex that go, ooh, he's so pretty. He's a snack. How do you think the subconscious mind's going to interpret that when we lose that thing? Okay, I'll help you digest it. It develops extra gut cells, and these extra gut cells, they help digest things faster and absorb things faster. When the conflict gets resolved, the body no longer needs these high maintenance cells and it starts to get rid of them. And then that's when the bloody, painful mess starts. Now, this will just end if there's no conflict relapses, it doesn't happen over and over and over again, and if no PTSD triggers are formed. And that's a subconscious thing. You don't have any conscious control over that. The first step to getting better is to find the traumatic event. This is the first thing that I show people in my 13-day protocol. This is the first step. First step is some general education on what's actually going on in the body and how our brain functions. We are a slave to our instincts, our survival instincts. Half the day we're trying to figure out what we're going to eat and we're totally unaware of the importance of food. Everything revolves around our survival instincts. Now, when that traumatic event happened, it's like your brain got struck by a bolt of lightning and it actually leaves a scar on your brain that won't heal until you fully come to peace with that conflict. No joke, you can see it on a brain CT scan. So the first step is to find it, and then we need to track our PTSD triggers and see how they relate to that conflict shock. Now, some of you are gonna go, oh, nothing happened. Can't remember. Well, on average, when I work with somebody, it could take an hour or two to find their conflict. And that's when both parties know what they're talking about. You have to be an investigator, almost like a detective. It's buried in the subconscious. It is a subconscious thing. And now a lot of people think that, oh, if it's caused by stress, then I need to never have a negative emotion again and never leave my house and create conflict again. It's not caused by stress. It's caused by a conflict shock, and then the stress stemming from that conflict shock could put your gut in and out of overdrive. Now you can see the importance of why we need to find that traumatic event. It is the first part of the therapy. I guide you through that in my 13-day protocol, but in my bio link, I have a free instant webinar that is a mini version of this that will answer, I'm sure, many of the questions that you have right now. But this is exactly what I did, step by step, day by day, to get better.